Please welcome Jimmy Tarbuck.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. It's a great thrill for me to be here tonight. It's a great thrill. The bottle's gone already. Now, anyway, amongst all you celebrities, Major James Hewitt will not be here tonight. He's having plastic surgery. He now looks like Salman Rushdie. Prince Charles said his marriage was like a Greek tragedy. His father said, leave me out of this. And we've got news from the Gulf. The Italian tanks have arrived. The only thing, they're there from the first invasion, and they were fighting under the new Italian war flag. It's a white cross on a white background. But John Major, a good friend, he couldn't be here tonight. He's left for a visit this afternoon to all countries in Europe who are friendly towards us. He'll be back at 7:10, so he'll be all right. And didn't Blair do well in Blackpool? Lionel, I didn't know you liked politics, but wherever you are, very well done. Boris Yeltsin is here tonight. I'm thrilled. Well, he's not here. He's in the plane. And good in America. They didn't know whether to book him into the Hilton or the Betty Ford Clinic. But he made a big hit in America. He met Steven Spielberg, who was very impressed with him, and has invited him into his new film with Oliver Reed, Georgie Best, and him. It's called Schindler's List. Anyway. Not yet, please. Save it for the end. I've got a week finish. Now, anyway, I got to London Airport, and a great big fella took my cases. He didn't work there, just took the cases, and I went in the duty-free to buy the latest Des O'Connor album, and I was served by a lady. It was highly embarrassing, so I bought a packet of condoms instead. And don't laugh, they're selling them in Tesco's now with a fill-by date. But anyway... They gave them away free in Women's Own. There they were, stapled to the centre pages. They've got a thing I never thought I'd ever see, ladies and gentlemen, a fluorescent condom. Well, I had to buy one of those. Just one. And I took it home. I've jogged their memory. I took it home. I took it home, and I put it on. And I put my head under the sheets. And I read a book. It was really nice, actually. I just went, wow. But anyway, I am thrilled tonight to see so many of my peers, obviously my friends, but in many cases my heroes in the audience tonight. I thank you all for coming. The Henry Coopers, the Kevin Keegans, the Sebastian Coes, John Inman, great comedian, Maura Stewart, one of the most lovely ladies on television, Some of the Bill, whose programme I enjoy, the lads from Brookside. It's good to see you here, my dear Sir Harry. But you get a mention later on. And then my dear Mrs. Willis on the front row. There she is, my favourite. I knew her when she was a little girl in Liverpool before Bobby, but she chose him instead of me. It's disgraceful how she married. Just think, you could have been here, Bob, and she could have been Mrs. Tarbuck. Anyway, there you are. Remember when you first came to London and how disappointed you were the first time when you found out Big Ben was a clock? And so no love, a clock. And anyway, she's a lovely soul.
That's lovely to see. Actually, I've got a message for you.
A message first, yes?
Yes, a message for you. I mean, Aggie from the Baggy and Big Bessie from Bradford send their love, all right? Actually, you did say that we were great friends all those years ago.
Well, we were great friends. I mean, I'll never forget you when we were kids, because you really were the first girl in Liverpool to wear incontinent knickers. Just because you thought they were from France. I mean, you were like that. You know, I mean, you were just a lovely girl. Trying to take you home to your mother's with all your brothers chasing me. No, so go on, love.
But did you think that all those years ago, you know, when we were in the cabin, starting out in the cabin, that
yes.
it would all end up like this?
Of course not. It's like a fairy tale that's happened when we were kids in Liverpool. I mean, to think that in my class at school was a fella who couldn't see from here to there. And he became a musical genius, the most famous man in the world for a short period of his life, and that was John Lennon. And he sat 2 desks away from me. And I used to think he was a bit thick because he couldn't see. He was always, oh, am I right? He was always like that, looking at you. And the class below was George Harrison, who was as quiet as a mouse, never said a word, George, and I never thought that at all. And when I think of Penny Lane, that they wrote the songs about that, and I remember going to see them, one of the last concerts at the Odeon, at Hammersmith, and he was wonderful then, and great, you know, he's there. He says, come and watch you in the wings, you've seen nothing like this. He used to play the guitar very high up like that, and they've come on, and I've never heard noise like it of girls all screaming. They went, if there's anything, and he just looked at me and he mimed. He wasn't singing in the anyway. Illusions were shattered, but what I liked about those days, I have to speak as a man now, there were no tights. No, I mean, I find tights have just ruined romance. And ladies, I mean, all of you in there, you wear tights. They're horrible. You've seen bank robbers coming out of banks with them over their faces. Well, that's what your bums look like, in tights. Now, I have to say, in Silla's day, not in Silla's case, but... Would you for a woody? Now, anyway, I'll tell you...
Well, I would for a capstan.
I know you would. Oh, Savage and green silk shirts, Bob. But they used to wear suspenders, and if the button went on the suspenders, the girls would get the old sixpenny piece and tie them on, which was wonderful for the men, because if you got nowhere, you still got your bus fare home. No, this is true. I'm telling you about my murky past. Now, my dear brother, Kenneth, he still lives in Liverpool. He's 66 years of age, he lives in Old Swan, and he still wets the bed. And, no, he does. And he's got the bloody cheek to carry a kidney donor card round with him. And, imagine anyone getting his dibber going, shh, what the hell's this? Yes. And, you know, like all kids at the time when I was in Liverpool, we used to sleep in the same bed. There used to be a rainbow over the cot. And, my mother used to say, where do you want to sleep? I said, in the shallow end. And she was great, me ma. She used to dress us at the Surplus Army and Navy store in Lacey Street. And I went to school one day as a Japanese admiral, and our Kenneth was a nun in the flying squad. I had the same frock on one day as the teacher. And I don't know who's more embarrassed, him or me, but anyway... They are skeletons from the Tarbuck household, but there'll be no skeletons from my next mate I see there, dear Michael Parkinson, who I am a big admirer of, and he hasn't been feeling too well since he went to see the gypsy. And she said to him, your hard times are over. Now, that's a shock for any man. And so, Michael...
Big Elsie from Bradford sends her.
I've had Big Elsie from Bradford from both of you. Yes. She ruined your back, didn't she?
If I go, she
yes,
did.
go on. Don't start, or I'll start about the barmaids.
Jimmy, what I wonder was, at the age of 23, by the time you're 23, you're already a big star. I wonder who were your comic idols at that time, the people that you particularly admired?
At 23?
Yeah.
There was a man on the front row. I mean, people don't know what a great comic Harry Seacombe is. They see him on highway, but he is a wonderful comedian. Wonderful. Yes, I mean, Harry, Tommy Cooper, we all loved. Every pro in the business loved him. And I've said this before. In '64, I did my first road show with Scylla at the Palladium, and he was on, and he stole the show, Cooper. He was magnificent. He stood on the stairs, and the Queen said to him, you were wonderful tonight. Oh, he said, thank you. Did you laugh? Oh, she said, yes. He said, and the Prince, oh, we all thought you were wonderful. And then he chanced it out, was I funny? She went, yes. Oh, he said, thank you. Do you like football? She went, not particularly. He said, could I have your ticket for the cup final? And another great comedian, I must say, I must include Frankie Vaughan, who taught me so much when I was a kid. Frank always said, surround yourself with talent. And he had a comic who used to precede him called Jimmy Wheeler, who was absolutely magnificent stand-up comic. He used to do about 12 minutes of... The place would be in uproar, and I used to go everywhere to see him. He was a big Cockney man, and he used to go, aye, aye, that's a lot. But he did this one gag I loved. He said, my next-door neighbour came in with a little dog. She said, Mr. Wheeler, I've got a new dog. It's a Chihuahua. He said, well, it's wonderful. She said, it's pedigree. He said, it can't have any pedigree, love. There's 2 hairs hanging from its nose. They don't have that. What should I do? He said, go down to Boots and get some hair remover. Well, she went down to Boots. She said, I'd like some hair remover. He said, yes, madam. Smear it on the palms of the hand, rub it on the hairs under the arm, and they disappear. She said, no, they're from a Chihuahua. Oh, he said, the same direction, but don't ride your bike for 2 weeks. Wonderful, wonderful comedian. He really was. And I must say, one of my all-time favourites, and Frank's, and Harry's, and, of course, dear Bruce, who worked with him a million times. Lovely to see you here. And you, Winnie, my dear friend.
Oh, yes, now, I mean, what...
I'm sorry to wake you,
I haven't even started yet.
But, you know, I had the great pleasure of introducing you for the first time at the Palladium.
Yes.
And I also had the great pleasure with Dickie Henderson of introducing you to the game of golf.
Yes, you did, sir.
And the etiquette.
And the etiquette.
Yes, of golf.
Of golf.
And, because you were a bit of a ruffian. But anyway, I've always wanted to ask this question. If you weren't you, and if you weren't me...
Oh.
Who would you rather have been?
I'd have to be a little piece of about 4 people. Peter Ustinov, because I love his intellect and his wonderful wit. Yeah. Eric Morecambe, because he's the best English comic I've ever seen. I just thought he was on a plane above all the rest of us. Kenny Dalglish, because he's the greatest thing I've ever seen in a red shirt of Liverpool. And Tom Jones, because he's had more crumpet than any other man I know. Yes.
I think that's a good answer.
I've seen nothing. I mean, he sings It's Not Unusual. I've seen it. It is. Right. You taught me, the 3 of you down here, how to handle success. And especially in charity work. And I'm not bullying myself there, but there was an old ladies' home 2 weeks ago, and we were presenting a thing there for the VABF, for old folk, and Bruce very kindly came along, and he is wonderful with people. You all know that on the telly he is. But he went up to this lovely old lady in this home, he went, "Hello, love, do you know who I am?" And she said, "No, ask Matron, she'll tell you." I mean, it was really, really nice, wasn't it?
I accept it.
My first tour was in 1958. I toured with a boy called Cliff Richard, who had a big hit record called Move It. His group, his backing group, were called The Drifters, and it's lovely to see a dear friend, Hank Marvin, there.
Jim, you grew up with a lot of the Merseyside groups. Did you ever fancy being a pop star rather than a comic?
Did I ever fancy being a pop star? How dare you? How dare you? Did I? I've charted twice, Hank, while you've been in Australia. I've charted twice, but feast your eyes when I was a pop star. Can we run that in here? Watch the screens.
Jimmy Tarbuck, ladies and gentlemen.
Dimples. So... Dimples. Thank you. You see we're friendly. The Cravat King. Now listen, when are you going to get your suit finished? Don't start about all this. Did you like the comedy there? What was all that about with Jack Parnell? Well, that's just to give the show a little comedy. You mean you're not getting any laughs with your singing?
I had a good day today. I saw 4 weddings and a funeral. Not the film, it's Les Dennis's date book for next year. And, all right, Les. Anyway, Richard Branson, there's a bright lad, he's brought out the new Virgin Cola. Cliff Richard says he'll be drinking it. Joan Collins says she's sticking to 7-Up. Now, anyway, in the audience, we have the cream of British sport. Some are a bit curdled. And I see a footballer on my right here with studs in his ear. John Fashion, who's tackling much higher these days. And I see they're sitting down in stadiums these days. At Everton, that includes the players. And the modern-day athlete, I've really got a bone to pick with him. I mean, I just wish that Linford Christie was here tonight. My missus has fallen in love with him. Totally. Thinks he's wonderful. Doesn't know what he looks like. Fallen in love with him, she has. So she's only bought me the Lycra shorts. Don't say, oh, God, I'm telling you. She said, now get them on and get down in the kitchen and let's see you in them. Well, I went upstairs and I'll tell you, I put them on. They're quite tasty, actually. And the voice come from the kitchen. And sling your vest over one shoulder like he does. I went, oh. So I've walked into her. I said, well, Pauline, what do you think? She said, that reminds me, I need some button mushrooms for the omelette. I said, no. But wives are like that. I've got a son, James. When he was 15, she said to me, speak to him. That's what to do. She said, he's doing what boys do at 15 and I don't like it. I burst in his room. I said, oi! I said, now stop that, you'll go blind. He said, Dad, I'm over here. I went, oh. Well, look, I said, now just stop that, you'll go blind, yes. Alan Freeman's laughing, he's got glasses on, but... That's ex-wives for you, and I see a lovely wife up there on the back row, a lady I admire, and a dear friend. Leslie Ash, how are you, dear?
Very well. I've got a question. I'm married to a footballer,
Yes.
and it's wonderful.
It's wonderful?
Yes, it's wonderful. How would you convince me being married to a comedian would be even better?
It wouldn't, love, I'll tell you. It wouldn't. You wouldn't get 45 minutes each way and suck an orange at half-time. Dear friend over there, Terry Venables doing a great job as England manager. TV, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Jim.
Good. Do you have anything about England you'd like to ask me, sir?
Yeah, if you had the opportunity, which England team would you pick, Jim?
If I had the opportunity, what England team would I pick?
In fact, you may get it.
Well, I think in my team, I think I'd have Moira Stewart, Scylla, Leslie Ash, Lady Seacombe. I mean, we mightn't win any matches, we'd have some fun in the bath, wouldn't we, Mara? Eh? Listen, just let me tell you, Venice, you know how I've loved your company and all the footballing lads out there. If ever you need anyone to take a penalty at Wembley, just look no further. The bottle would not go. Show me.
Oh, hello. There's a chance. Chris Quinton. There's Chris on the ball. He's got every... Oh, that's Frost. That's Frosty. That's got to be a penalty. Because I think Frosty saved the ball outside the box, did he not?
Oh, that's what Terry Neal's just explaining to him.
Yes, I think... Well... Yes, Terry obviously had a word of advice there, and he's still giving him a word of advice.
Now, who's going to take this? Jimmy Tarbuck,
Tarbuck's
captain.
taking it. And he scores! Fulfilled a life's ambition now then, Tarbuck.
Where's Big Jan? Where's my favourite Liverpool player? Jan, that makes you look a bit slim, doesn't it, lad? And you're looking very well, you and Rushy. They're my heroes over there. Nice to see Ron Atkinson here, another footballing hero of mine.
Jim, obviously you're clued up in our industry, and I'm having a bit of a rough time at the moment. And
yes?
If, for argument's sake, I was looking for another club, what would you recommend for me, pal?
Stringfellows. You'll do all right. Villa's a good tea, Ron. David Baddiel, lovely to see you. Comedian and a football fanatic, I think.
Jimmy, you've always been a big fan of Liverpool FC. When did it all start for you?
From the very beginning, do you want?
Yeah, the very beginning, the first game.
Well,
everything.
Ronnie Moran and Evo will know this, is when a man called Billy Liddell played for Liverpool, and they were a very unfashionable second division club then, and he was kind of a... It wasn't a one-man team, but all the crowd used to give it to Billy. And when you were a kid, you thought he scored in every game, and of course he didn't. And if he hit it over the bar, we all went, oh. And in those days, he had a little car, I'm right, Ronnie, aren't I? And we used to go round just to watch him get out the car. You wouldn't dare ask him for an autograph. He was above all that. And he went in. And then I met Bobby Campbell, my dear mate there, and he was captain of Liverpool reserves at the time. And I used to go to the match every day, every Saturday with him and Ron and all the lads. And he used to say, they used to walk me through the players' entrance. And there'd be an old commission there, a bit dodgy in the sight, an old scouse. And Campbell used to say to me, limp. He'll think you're a player. And so I'd go walking in, and he'd go, hang on, he'd say, who's that? I said, oh, this is Tarbuck. He said, the England Youth International. What a player, done his knee. And I said, oh, come in, son. And so I'm in there, I'm going in. And I used to go in the players' area and watch. Well, I mean, I got a bit of confidence. Then first team games and home matches, I used to limp in, and this old commissioner, hi, son, how's the knee? Come in, I've had a bit of treatment. And in I'd go, and this went on, and the manager then was Phil Taylor. And I'm doing it once too often. And all of a sudden he went, stop! Who are you? I have been told I've got an England Youth International with a bad knee who's been hurt for 6 months, but he's the greatest player the club's ever seen. I said, I'm Jimmy Tarbuck. I'm a friend of Bobby Campbell's. He said, well, get out of here. That's how it started. And we had some good times, and the lads were good players. And then Bill Shankly came to Liverpool, and it all just altered, because he laid a foundation there at home that this great club that I love so much has just carried on. And then he signed Ian St. John, who became the first of the great new heroes. And, of course, we got Kevin Keegan and then Kenny Dalglish. He was just absolutely great, and all the trophies were won. But St. John was a great centre-forward at giving and taking the knocks. But he always scored best when he whipped off his vest, but he left on the lucky black socks. Yes. But I had great pleasure from that wonderful club and the team and Rushy and all the goals. So it's smashing for me. But I've got a friend of mine. He's 6,000 miles away, and he's currently packing them in at the Massey Hall in Toronto. He's been watching the show, and it's a pleasure to introduce the Laird of Auchterarder, Michael Parkinson's love child. Will you all welcome, all that way away, Mr. Billy Connolly. My dear friend, how are you?
I'm absolutely fabulous, Tarby. I'm having a great time. It's a brilliant place. You got to come here, man. What a welcome. The people line the streets all the way from the airport in national costume, which is a blue anorak with orange lining and a furry hood. Yeah, they got a beaver. They got a beaver under their arm, a moose on a leash, and they sing Rosemary till you get to your hotel. It's unbelievable.
Listen, the last time I saw you, you were on Billy Connolly's World Tour of Scotland. You were on some island, dancing round some stones, showing your bare bum.
Absolutely. Well, we were showing these standing stone things up there in Orkney, and there's nothing else you can do. They're just big stones. So I thought, right, whip the kicks off, rash a bacon round the neck and go for it. Apparently it's catching on. It's real trendy now to take your Polaroid up there and go for it, you know. I'm all for that behaviour. Hey, listen, I'm supposed to have a question for you. They told me you better ask him a question. That's the kind of point of the show. So listen, I was wondering, did your family seek psychiatric help after I visited your house one time, remember? Because in the middle of the night I was bursting to pee, and I couldn't find the light switch in that room you gave me. And I was wandering about, and I was in and out all the different rooms in the dark, and people were waking up going, what's that? There's somebody in the house. So I had to go back to bed and lie and wait for daylight with my legs crossed. I always wonder if they got over that. What happened?
Well, I hate to bring this up on this type of show, but I know for a fact you peed out the window. Because what you didn't realise, it had been snowing. But what I didn't like, it was in Pauline's handwriting.
Oh, good on you, Tommy. Well done.
Is it true you're going on the jury for O.J. Simpson?
Oh, absolutely. I'm the only man in America who doesn't know anything. I think he's innocent. I've also got a bolt through my willy.
Thrilled that you came on. I know you're wowing over there. Tell me, does the humour travel seriously?
Well, I don't care if it travels or not. I kind of bully the audience. I just go on, get into transmit and go for it. I don't believe in all that, does humour travel? I don't ask them what they like. I just go, you know, biff. And ask Parkinson, he knows all about it. But it's with gas being on your show, mate. Take it to the cleaner. I don't know why you did it. It's a terrifying show. Good luck to you, my pal.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Billy Connolly. Thanks, mate. In a charity game yesterday, we had a good day yesterday. We played Sunningdale, played with the lads, and I've knocked the ball in a garden. Now, you know, I see the ball on the lawn, so I've walked in. Japanese guy comes out of the back door. What you want? I said, I just get my ball. He said, my house, on my lawn, my brawl. I said, I've just knocked it over the edge. I said, it's mine. Oh, no. He said, study English law, possession, 9/10 of law, that mine. I said, oh, you study English law, have you? Fine. I said, well, we have old English customs, like a duel. Oh, he said, duel for golf ball? Very honourable. I like that. What suggest we do? I said, well, in Liverpool, we have an old custom. I said, it's a groin-kicking competition. He said, oh, groin-kicking competition? Sound good. What happened? I said, we both whack each other in the Henrys as hard as we can. I said, and the one who passes out for the least amount of time wins the ball. Oh, he said, all for that. I go first. I said, oh, no. English tradition, I go first. Oh, I said, just spread eagle them, legs akimbo. Well, I've given one up the orchestra. He doesn't know what's happened. Bosh! The tears, he's rolling and groaning. He come round, he went, oh, how long I out for? I said, 6 minutes, 15 seconds. Right, he said, you son of... He said, now my turn. I said, nah, it's all right. You can keep the ball. Anyway... That's a wicked way of swinging a joke on you. I look at the great talent in the audience. Look at Georgie Best. George, I mean, as a young man, you had the greatest talent of all of us. Are you still seeing any of them? I see behind you, young McCririck. Look at him there. One of the great racehorse experts.
Well, Jimmy, we hear that you're one of the greatest racehorse owners the world's ever known. But I reckon it's also odds on you're a ferocious gambler.
I'm a gambler.
Ferocious?
Ferocious gambler.
I'm told.
I have had the odd punt. My trainer is there. Great jockey himself, Jeff Lewis, who was wonderful with Mill Reef. But how I got the horse, I mean, we went to Windsor races, and it was a night meeting. They have what they call a selling race. Now, for those who don't know the racing parlance, that's when they have the horses, it wins, and they auction them. And me and the lads had had a few sherbets, so I walked down, and I've got one of these. Hooray, Henry. He said, what do I bid for this horse? So I said, what? What do I bid for that? I said, 50 quid. He went, sold. And so, I mean, it's a good one, and so I've got it. But what I didn't know is they give you the horse there and then. Now, it's 10 to 9 at night at Windsor. It's a lovely evening, and I've got this horse. And like all of them, him and the rest of them said, well, we're going. I said, well, hang on. What? No, it's your horse. You look after it. So I've come out, and I'm walking through Windsor. I thought, well, how the hell am I going to get this home? What's Pauline going to say? I've come home with lots of things in my life, but never a bloody racehorse. So I'm walking around, and so I thought, well, I'll just jog it. You know the Staines Road? So I've just got on it, and it's, well, it's just lovely, isn't it? Oh, I thought, well, that's not bad at all. This'll do me. Well, I thought, you know, you should get back in training. You still got it? You have? I'm going along. Well, you just get past where they sign Magna Carta around the river bend, and there's a bridge goes over the road. So I'm coming along, and it's here's shot back. I said, oi! I said, under it, not over the bloody thing. So I got it up to Epsom, to Jeff Lewis's yard. It was in the stable on its back with its 4 legs in the air. I said, Jess, what's going on? He said, relax. I was putting a new shoe on him, and he fell out the vice. I said, oh, well, He said, who do you want to ride it? I said, the Great Piggott. He said, good choice. So there you are. We go up to Haydock, and there he is, Lester Piggott in my colours. Well, all the lads are on the periphery, and I stroll. All the bunch, Tarbuck now, the horse got to be tried, there's Tarbuck now. I said, Lester, can we win? Well, he said, the lad said, what did he say? I said, the bloody thing started from a kneeling position, and, if you like, it's a bit of a donkey. And that leads to my next man, Drop the Dead Donkey, which I have to say is one of my favourite shows, Rob Duncan.
Jimmy, we've heard a lot about football. Personally, I'm rather keen on cricket.
Yes?
Have you ever fancied it?
I think I'd love to play in a winning Ashes side. But why the hell I'd want to play for Australia, I've really no idea, you know. But, yeah, but I enjoy playing when I play with Parky. Fluff.
Speaking of Australia, Jimbo, tell me, have you ever been down under?
Silla, will you control that filthy laugh of yours? Well, as a matter of fact, I have. I've been down to your native Australia, and I think it's a lovely place. I mean, I get a bit cheesed off with my acting friends here when I see all these Australian stars coming over here and doing all the pantomimes. I mean, I remember Chips Rafferty. There was a great Australian actor. And Skippy the kangaroo. Remember him? I bloody love him, and he boing, boing, boing. He was always with a kid called Kevin. And Kevin was always falling down abandoned mine shafts, wasn't he? Skippy, go and tell Dad I'm down the mine shaft. Bloody kangaroo would go boing, boing. And Dad was always cutting wood, wouldn't he? Good day, Skippy. How are you today? Oink, oink, oink. What's that? Kevin's down a mine shaft and he's broken his leg. I mean, I know Hank lives in Australia, and it's a great place to visit. What disappointed me, Bondi Beach certainly didn't live up to what I expected. I expected this place miles of beach, you know. I got there, it's a bit of a small beach, not as good as New Brighton. I mean, it really isn't. Certainly it isn't. But I saw a fellow there do the funniest thing. He dug a great big hole in the sand so he could sunbathe in the nude. And he's laying in the sand so no one can... Well, what he doesn't realise, his willy was showing over the top of the sand. And there's 2 old Australian girls having a bit of a paddle. One says, Madge, don't look. She said, what is it, Myra? She said, when I was 21, I used to run a mile from them. When I was 31, I used to run a mile after them. When I was 51, I couldn't catch too many. Now I'm 80, the bloody things are growing wild. She said, look at that. My friend said, well, take a cutting. But anyway, I was actually in Sydney, and they have wonderful things in Australia, and it was the finals of the improvisation poetry finals, and it was $100,000 first prize, and the finalists were a rabbi and a Sydney bridge painter. And what they did, they got a computer, picked a word out, and they had to just make poetry up there. It was really, really wonderful way of going about it. The rabbi drew the short straw, he got it, and he was first into bat. Up came the word Timbuktu. He was right in like that. He said, I've been a rabbi all my life. I've got no children because I've got no wife. I've read the good book through and through, all the way to Timbuktu. Well, there was riotous applause. In went the Aussie. He said, Tim and I went in a tent. 3 girls came in, they were heaven sent. We drank Foster's lager the whole night through. I bucked one and Timbuktu. I mean, it's a bit late for me to be in London. I'll tell you, I don't usually stay this late in London. I mean, the last time I was this late, I ended up in a gay club in Soho. And I said to this fella I was dancing with, I said, look, I said, I've got to get out of here. He said, but hang on, we're in the semi-final. I said, oh, well, all right. And so, yes. Never won a bloody thing. It was awful. One of my great heroes who I played golf with, my God, Henry Cooper. Shall I tell him about Glen Eagles? We're playing in Glen Eagles. It was wonderful. The 3rd hole is what you call a blind hole, and you have to ring the bell to tell the match behind that you're clear. I rang the bell, and he knocked the caddy out. He went bang. I see a great star and a visitor to our shores, the star of Naked Gun, Mr. Leslie Nielsen. It's lovely to see you here.
Just take a second because, you know, I'm really honored to be in the company of so many distinguished British celebrities. And now, Mr. Tuckbar, now... what is it that you do? You know, I have some Naked Gun movies that, as you,
yes,
when you introduced me, and I do a lot of undercover work on those movies. Now, let me ask you, if you were in a nudist colony and you had to go undercover, what kind of disguise would you use?
Well, on a good day, a fig leaf. On a cold day, a tea leaf.
I want to ask you also, though, you know, I do some golf videos, too. You were just talking about
Yes,
golf.
you do.
And what is the best advice you've had about playing golf?
OK, I'll have to bring one of your late countrymen in, and it concerns Bruce, Kipper. We were all up at Glen Eagles playing in this celebrity golf game, and it was about 7:45 in the morning, and I'm not very good at impressions at all, but the phone went, and, you know, I went, hello, and the voice went something like, you want to play a 4-ball? We're just down the team, we want to play par. I said, who is this? He says, Bing, you want to play par ball? Because Bruce, Betty Brown, and you. I said, now stop messing around. I said, is that you, Lynchy? I said, it's 7:50 in the bloody morning. Now turn it up. No, he said, I'm just standing here going to play ball. I've got a ball. I said, that's Bing Crosby. I said, sing White Christmas. He said, it's 7:50 in the morning, he said. I said, I don't know what time it is. I said, sing it. So I heard, I'm dreaming. And I looked out the window, it started snowing, so I knew it was him. So I've never been up and out of bed and dressed so quickly. I've rushed down, and there he was on the tee, roaring laughing with Bruce and dear Freddie Brown. A pal of ours said, didn't think it was me this morning. So we played golf, and I think he said, we'll just play for $5. Just 5 and nothing else. I said, that suits me. And I think Bruce and I beat him and Freddie, so it was lovely. We've copped the dough. He said, you know, Tarby, he said, I could take 6 shots off your game like that. Well, so I said, yes, Bing, how? He said, cut out one of the short holes. But he was a lovely man, and that was a great joy. And there's a lovely, lovely man here. I'm best described as, I suppose, sex on legs. Harry Seacombe. Harry, how are you?
Very well.
Sir.
Jim, how many command performances have you done?
4 more than the Queen, Harry. And I've been lucky. I've done quite a few now, and at the Palladium, but I have to say, I don't think I've enjoyed myself in a show when I was a kid as much as when I did the 9 months with you in London Laughs at the Palladium. You'd be waiting in the wings, a hand would go up your behind, got you, woohoo, let's get on. I was singing a song called A Dedicated Follower of Fashion. I had a white suit on. Come here, you little bugger, he said. And he's grabbed the back of this jacket and ripped the back out, and the music started, and I've danced on. They seek him here, and I'm looking, everyone's roaring. Well, I thought, I've got to get my own back on him. And in this scene, at the end of the first half, he came round on a donkey cart, dressed as a pearly king and queen with Thora Hurd. And they came round, and it's all my old man, said Father, and Harry's there. And I just said to the fellow with the donkey, I said, the donkey never misbehaves, does he? You know, never, you know, pools with that. He said, no, no, don't feed it. He said, you mustn't feed him. He said, the lights come on them. He said, and they'll, you know, all over the place. He said, and he said, they don't eat sweets. He said, sweets run right through them. I said, oh, do they? He said, so I'm right out into Liberties, a big box of licorice all sorts. This old donkey's in the corner in the passage at the Palladium. I said to George Cooper, get us a paper. I said, I'll watch the desk and watch the donkey. All right, son. So well, I've give this donkey a handful of these sweets. No, loves it. No, much. So I thought, lovely. My old man and Thora Hurd was sat right behind its backside. And she sat there, up went its tail. She went, oh! And Harry's going, oh, this is terrible. My old man. So we finished the show, and I've just walked down the corridor, and near the fellow said, I can't understand it, Mr. Seacombe. It's never done that. It's never done that. So I thought, lovely, second house, no one's around. Out come the licorice all sorts in again. Munch. My old man, and all that there above all the music was Thora going, Harry, it's doing it again. The fellow said, Mr. Seacombe, I've examined it. Someone's feeding it sweets. Right, he said. They were wonderful times, and as I said, you learn from working with great performers like them, and then you come to a royal command. It was Prince Charles, who absolutely adores Harry and the goons. So he's come along and they're doing all the goon gags, all this, whatever you want to say. And third up was Les Dawson. And Dawson was a magnificent wordsmith who did like the sauce. And he'd had a skinful. And he used to love wrong-footing people. And we're all stood there, and the prince came up to me and went, Mr. Dawson. And Des didn't say anything. He went, have you got it? He said, sorry? He said, the money tonight. He said, are you paying us? Well, he went, well, no, I don't. And Dawson said to him, typical. The prince thought he was talking to an alien. He went, what? And he's walked away, shaking his head. We're all screaming, and Dawson looked down the line and went, miserable bugger. just wonderful times. Then I worked with another mate of ours, Arthur Askey, who played my mum, and he played everybody's mum. He was wonderful. We played Bolton. And the Lady Mayoress insisted on presenting flowers to the company on the last night. And so we're also the finale. Now, there's all little microphones all up the stage, and up she came. And she was like a barrel. She was this big and that wide, and she'd come up like that. A real, you think, you wouldn't like a right-hander off her. I mean, she was like that. And she's come up, and the skirt is stretched tight. She's got the big chain. She said, I'd just like to thank, she said, Mr. Askey and Mr. Tarbuck for making the instant for coming to Bolton, she said. It's been a thrill having them all here in Bolton. She said, now we've got some flowers for the lady members of the cast. And she's done that and bent down to pick the flowers up. And she broke wind violently. I mean, violently. And I've looked at Askey and gone, dear God, there was nothing to do. And she never changed. She just went, ark at me. Well, I mean, you just can't top that. We just went, yes, well, good night and thank you. Back at me. Absolutely lovely. But wonderful tales about that. Where's lovely Neris Shoes? She said, hiya, Neris, how are you, darling?
I'm well.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you. I'm enjoying myself, having a good laugh.
That's good.
What's your favourite ad-lib?
Michael Williams will know the great acting ones. They tell me Donald Wolfett was on up in Glasgow doing a week of different Shakespearean plays. And he's entertained them this night, and he came on, he said, I'd like to thank you for your indulgence. And he said, tomorrow night we'll be doing Macbeth. I will be playing Macbeth, and my wife, Lady Wolfett, will be playing Lady Macbeth. And a voice from the god shouted out, she's nothing but an old whore. He said, nevertheless, she will be playing Lady Macbeth tomorrow night. Yes. But Neris, you asked me the best one and the most honest one. was Diana Dawes on Russell Harty's show with Omar Sharif. And Harty was interviewing Sharif, and he said, "It is said, is it not," he said, "Mr. Sharif, that you don't pay no tax in Egypt?" He said, "Well, no." He said, "The Egyptian government think I'm good for them. They're certainly good for me. All very lovely." And he said, "It is said," he said, "that you and your wife split up because you woke up in bed one morning and found it not interesting." He said, "Well, that is true." He said, "We're very civilized people. We woke up, there was nothing there anymore, so we parted." He turned to Danny and said, "Could you imagine anything worse than waking up in bed with Omar Sharif and finding it not interesting?" She said, "Yes, waking up in bed with you and finding it was." I thought that was wonderful. Now then, where's a lovely show I love? Minder, Gary Webster. How are you, mate?
Very well, thanks, Jim.
Nice to see you, lad.
I'd like to ask you, what do you think the difference is between Northerners and Southerners?
The real difference between Northerners and, well, some people say they're friendlier. I can't accept that. I think there's a great deal of warmth all over. I think Cockneys are, you know, quick-witted and all that, you know, very like Scousers and thing. But I suppose it was best, great example was two sisters were coming down to see Lloyd Webber's show, Phantom of the Opera, and they stopped in, you know, somewhere halfway, and they booked in. They said, "Could we have a room?" He said, "We'll have a double or a single." And she said, "Well, my sister and I will have a double." He said, "With a telly or without a telly?" She said, "Oh, well, with a telly." He says, "Black and white or colour?" She said, "Well, we'll have colour." He says, "With a flicker or without?" Oh, she said, "Well, with a flicker, thank you." And she said, "With a man or without a man?" And they went, "With a man." He said, "Well, a man from the north or a man from the south?" "Well, what's the difference?" Oh, he said, "All on the wedding tackle." He said, "All how they're hung. Man from the south," he said, "very wide. Man from the north, very long." He said, "Well, we'll have a man from the north who lives as near to the south as possible." Yes. So I think it's somewhere in between there. I had a great pleasure of appearing on this young man's show last week, Danny Baker.
Jim, in your career, you've done everything. You've played the Palladium, you've played at Anfield. Everyone knows about you and Dorothy Squires. But
Dorothy doesn't remember. Yeah, go on.
Do you have any unfulfilled ambitions?
Oh, yes. I mean, lots, Danny. Never lose ambition and always go for it. I mean, I would love to appear on Coronation Street. I'd have loved to have walked in the bar and said, "It was me who painted your wife." And just to see Derek's face. In the nude? No, I left my socks on. I had to stick my brush somewhere. You know, I would love to do that, Coronation Street. And if given the opportunity, this is a man pleading for a job. Mr. Floyd, if ever you're going on your journeys again, I will drive your Aston Martin. I will hold your wine bottle. I will drink it with you. I would just love to come with you because I would love you to cook a meal for me. I think your shows are great.
That's kind, Jimmy, but I can tell you've been giving all this nonsense about sport and jogging stuff. In fact, you're quite fat as a comedian, and that indicates to me that you're probably a bit of a trencherman. So if I could cook for you, what would you like me to cook for you?
What would I like you to cook?
What's your favourite meal?
Well, I mean, that might be just plain old fish and chips, my favourite meal. But if I had someone like you, I think I'd take you out first, just to show you what I like, and we might go to Langan's, because Parky and Bestie and the lads, you know, we always have a good time, and Bobby Keach and Venners, we go to Langan's restaurant, you see. It's the in-place to be. Now, the bigger the star, or how you are currently popular, is you get the seat in the window. If you're currently, like, in the frame, you're stuck there, so everyone walking past, oh, don't go there, and you slowly move back, if you're not on the telly, or you haven't had a hit record, you're slowly in the back. Oh, this is true, the lads will all tell you. Well, Mr. Reeves was over. He just made Superman, the first one. Big, big hit. And, of course, he's ushered in, and he's on Michael Caine's table, isn't he? Right in the window. There's Parky, Bestie and all. We're just nudged out and we're watching. Well, I saw the funniest thing. Now, this is true, this one. And there's four fellas going back to work at lunchtime, right? And they're walking past, they're star clocking through the windows, and they see them, they go... Well, they walk back. And we're watching this. And three of them picked the other one up on their shoulders, and he went like that, past the window, and they're knocking it. Oh, yes! Well, we're almost at the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. We've had the giants of British entertainment, the giants of British sport, and now we've got the giants of the rock and roll industry. From the Small Faces and the Who, we have Kenny Jones. From the Moody Blues, we have Justin Hayward and John Lodge. On the keyboard, we have Rick Wakeman. And from the Shadows, Mr. Hank Marvin. Will you please greet them, ladies and gentlemen? ladies and gentlemen, in the history of London weekend television, the most expensive backing group.
Way down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans. We're back up in the woods among the evergreens. In a log cabin made of earth and wood. There lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good. He never ever learned to read or write so well, but he could play the guitar just like a ring of a bell. Go, 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 Johnny, go, go, go. 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 Johnny be good. He used to carry his guitar in a gunny sack. He sit beneath the tree by the railroad track. All the engineers saying in the shade, strumming to the rhythm that the driver made. People passing by, they would say, oh boy, the country boy could say, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go. Hey, Johnny be good. Hank Marvin. Mother told him someday you will be your man, and you will be the leader of a big old band. Many people coming from miles around to hear him play when the sun goes down. And maybe one day your name in life, Johnny be good tonight. Go, 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 go. Go, Johnny, 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 go, go, go. Johnny be good. Easy, boys. Chuck Berry, he wrote this song. And Little Richard said that it won't be long. And then he came along and said, oh, my soul. You see, they all love this rock and roll. And when you see they all had a ball, Elvis is still the king of them all. Go, go. Go, Johnny, go, 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 go, go. Hey, Johnny, be good. Go, 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 go. Go, Johnny, 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 go, go, go. My little Johnny be good.
Giving for the big round of applause. Thanks, Hank. The Moody's. Rick Jonesy. You've been a great audience. Thank you very much. Good night and God bless all of you. Thank you.
Way down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans. We're
back up in the woods among the evergreens. In a log cabin made of earth and wood. We lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good. We never ever learned to read or write so well, but we could play the guitar just like a ring of a bell. Go, 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 Johnny, go, go, go. 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 Johnny be good.
He used to carry his guitar in a gunny sack. He sit beneath the tree by the railroad track. All the engineers saying in the shade, strumming to the rhythm that the driver made. People passing by, they would say, oh, boy, the country boy could say, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go. Hey, Johnny be good. Hank Marvin.
Mother told him someday you will be a man, and you will be the leader of a big old band.
Many people coming from miles around to hear him play when the sun went down. And maybe one day your day in life, Johnny be good tonight. Go, 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 go. Go, Johnny, 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 go, go, go. Yeah, Johnny be good. Easy, boy. Chuck Berry, he wrote this song. And Little Richard said that it won't be long. And then he came along and said, oh, my soul. You see, they all love this rock and roll. And when you see they all had a ball, Elvis is still the king of them all. Go, go. Go, Johnny, go, 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 go, go. Hey, Johnny, be good. Go, 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 go. Go, Johnny, 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 go, go, go. My little Johnny be good.
Give him for the big round of applause. Thanks, Hank. The Moody's. Rick Jonesy. You've been a great audience. Thank you very much. Good night and God bless all of you. Thank you.